Week 30, Day 1, page 162, developingcharacter.org. My goal is to make you a role model for each one of these 36 qualities. The quality that we're going to be discussing and developing this week, and you're going to be a role model for, is confident. To be a confident person. And can you imagine those 300 greatest leaders? Do you think that they didn't exude confidence? How can you imagine, how can you believe that George Washington could have taken a 7th grade football team and beat the Kansas City Chiefs? Because essentially that's what he did. He took a bunch of ragtag state militias, combined them together, taught them discipline and confidence, and they beat the most powerful nation on the earth at the time, Great Britain. It's amazing, isn't it? You think he didn't have confidence? You think he didn't exude confidence? Think that the people in his army didn't see the confidence? What about Sam Houston? One of those 300 greatest leaders. You think he didn't exude confidence when he had to beat Santa Anna to free Texas? And he had the same type of ragtag militia, but he bided his time, prepared well, and then beat Santa Anna and freed and made Texas a republic. Confidence. Confidence is a combination of positive self-respect and adequate preparation. You will never be a confident person if you have low self-respect. If you have low self-respect, you have very low expectations, so you lack in confidence. Preparation is the determining factor, along with self-respect, in whether or not you have confidence or not. You see, the chemical that is secreted in our bodies when we have a crisis. Now, remember the definition of a crisis. A crisis, there's two things that you have to have for something to be a crisis. It has to be happening to you. Nobody else ever has a crisis. And it has to be happening right now. You can look back a year ago and you think something was a crisis back then. You go, nah, not really. It wasn't that big a deal. It has to be happening to you, and it has to be happening right now. Now, when that crisis happens, the body is going to secrete a chemical, adrenaline. Now, how you label it is totally up to you. A coward will label it as cowardice. A hero will label it as courage. You, in getting prepared for a test, any kind of test, an athletic test or an English test or anything else, you will label it confidence when you go in to take that test or to play that game if you have really prepared well. Look at the two questions at the bottom talking about confidence. Studies show that academic success is 50% positive self-portrait. 50%. That they took three things. The home environment, that was 25%. The IQ was 25%. This was a Stanford study done at Stanford University on a group of high school students. And 50% of the reason they learned was based on self-portrait. Why do you think it's so high? Why were those people that had a great self-portrait so confident? They believed they could do anything. They never thought about failure. Failure to them was never an option. Why does preparation correlate to confidence? There's not anybody out there, not one person I would be willing to bet you that watches this video that has not at some time in their life gone in to take a test without having studied or prepared at all. And you know for a fact you're going to fail the test. And you're even going to miss questions that you know the answer to. Because when you're not prepared, you do not believe that you can get it done. So your self-respect has gone down, your confidence is down, preparation is down. And the other way around is exactly true. If you have studied diligently and prepared for that test, and you go in to take that test, when we talk about George Washington, remember, George Washington hired von Steuben. Von Steuben came over and taught the troops two things. Number one, discipline. He worked them every single day. And he taught them discipline, to march, to fight. The Army, he still uses some of his tactics in their manual at West Point. The second thing he taught them was confidence, because he prepared them and he said, here's how we can win. And he sold them on that fact. Thomas Edison had the greatest quote I think I've ever heard based on confidence. He was asked once if he could play the piano. And Edison said, I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? Well, I've never tried. He didn't say, if someone asked me if I could play the piano, my immediate response would be no. Edison didn't say no. He said, I've never tried. I don't know. When you're writing your goals this week, are you going to be confident that you're going to fulfill them? Well, if you've prepared these last 29 weeks, if you've prepared and gotten used to writing the pluses and the minuses, and if you had a plus beside your goal, you patted yourself on the back. If you had a minus, you wrote down why you didn't accomplish it and what you were going to do differently next week. By now, you've gotten to that point that when you write these goals down today, you write down the 3 goals you're going to get done this week, you have no doubt in your mind. You have confidence. You are a role model for confidence. See you tomorrow.